Welcome to Biz Jet TV. My name is Fabrizio Poli, I'm your aviation advisor, and today we're going to be talking about the future of business aviation, an update for you. It has been a bit of bad press over the last few days, mainly driven by some people that are actually in the industry. So we're going to be looking at what was said, and I'll be giving you my take. If you are an entrepreneurial business person, you're probably driven to this episode of Biz Jet TV because you are trying to figure out how a business jet could work for you. Maybe you're afraid of flying with the airlines because you could catch a virus, and so you've come here to find out more about business aviation, how it works, is it a good idea or not. So this episode will hopefully answer those questions for you, and you can always connect with me and book in for a private consultation. My email will be given to you throughout the video, but you can also click below and contact me, and we can take it from there. If you haven't subscribed to Biz Jet TV, I encourage you to subscribe. This channel, we're posting every week videos, updates about aircraft, the industry, about space as well, and the aerospace industry, about drones, electrical vertical takeoff and landing. There's lots of content on here on Biz Jet TV, and there's lots more content coming, so I do encourage you to subscribe. And that's all from me on this intro, so let's get straight into business aviation's future. Off we go. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about some interesting things that have come out in the press about business aviation, some negative things. Some of my colleagues are being a bit negative towards private aviation, but you know, it's important to look at what they have to say. And so I'm just going to read a statement here which says, based on the comments and press releases of a few business jet charter providers, one could be led to believe that the industry is on fire as well-heeled travellers avoid the airlines. While there may be some outlier examples, the data generally does not support these claims, and worse, the unsubstantiated exuberance may be setting the industry up for exclusion from any future government aid programs. Now, that is interesting, and of course, we have seen a spike in private jet travel in the month of August, very robust figures compared to last year. I think this is driven by the fact that, you know, people have basically not been going on holiday for the last few months, and then suddenly they're allowed to travel, and so they all jumped on the private jets. We also see, talking to a number of charter operators out there, that 50% of the people traveling by private jet right now are new people that have never flown private before. So that's an interesting fact. But you know what they're saying here is, the other industry experts, they're saying that, you know, once we come into, now we're in September, October, November, and business travel resumed, or let's say business resumes, that what we're going to see is we're going to see the numbers come down because businesses aren't going to travel by private jet. That's interesting, but let's look at a couple of other things before I come to a conclusion here. Now, first of all, Warren Buffett, who owns NetJets, one of the richest people in the world, we saw that, you know, after September the 11th, what he did is he ordered 400 aircraft for NetJets. Just recently, Warren Buffett has decided to increase the NetJets fleet by 30%. That's going to go from 700 to 1,000 aircraft. So he's predicting, okay, and he's also he sold all his stock in the airlines, okay? So he's moving his money around, and what he's doing is he's betting on private aviation. Now, I agree the airlines have gone into a slump now, and it's going to take them 3 to 5 years to recover, okay? But we also see the other number, which I've mentioned here on Biz Jet TV, is, you know, the number of private jets out there, and the percentage of people that can buy a private jet that actually have one is only about 3.5%. Now, if we look at the interesting figure here, we see the number of aircraft for sale according to JetNet. We have 2,210 aircraft for sale right now, and that's 9.8% of the market. Now, that is actually lower than the average. Usually, there's about 10.5% of aircraft in the world for sale. That number after the 2008-2009 crisis went up quite a bit, and the values of the aircraft came down. If we look at this other graph here, we see you know, the number of aircraft for sale right now has come down. So we saw a spike in March. In March it was a low, and then it went up to a spike in June. Now it's come down and it's going further down. So what we're going to be seeing is, as we go into the new year, the price of aircraft may start to rise a little bit. I don't think it's going to jump up, but certainly the asking prices, people will stick with their asking price, and there will be some opportunities out there. I mean, obviously, there are going to be some businesses that, you know, have been severely affected by the whole lockdown. I mean, take the restaurant industry and that. I don't know how they're going to recover. So, you know, restaurant chains that have private jets, are they going to keep their jets? Are they going to sell their jets? Or are they going to go bust? What's going to happen? So, you know, but there are a lot of new people coming to the market. Now, one of the driving factors here for the new people coming to the market is, number one, they have the money. And we know that, you know, only 3.5% of ultra high net worth individuals have a private jet, or a fraction of a private jet. So that means there's a lot of potential growth for the industry. But here's an interesting statistic. Now, McKinsey went out and did a study, and they discovered that on the average commercial flight, there are 700 points of contact for people traveling on an airline. So you go to the airport to get on an airline and travel by airline, 700 contact points with other people. Well, if you're flying private, that number goes down to about 20 to 30. Now, that is a number that is certainly driving people towards private jet travel. And I'm not saying here we're going to see the market grow by 50% or 100%. No. But what I don't believe this doom and gloom that has been put out there over the last few days. I think what we're going to see is two things. Number one, those that do fly, whether they fly with their own private jet and that, they're not going to be flying as much as they did last year or the years before. So instead of maybe flying 400 hours a year, they're probably going to be flying 250 hours a year. Now that's because they don't want to expose their people to risks down route, and also because they've discovered technology and Zoom, and they see how effective technology can be in having remote meetings, and some meetings aren't that necessary face-to-face. But there are still meetings that you have to have face-to-face. So those that already were flying private will fly less, but we're going to see new people come onto the market that before were flying first class and business class, and they're going to be, you know, chartering, leasing, and also buying their own private jet, and they'll be flying 250 hours. So if we level these two things out, my prediction is we're going to see probably a 5 to 10% growth in the market in the next 12 to 18 months. That's what I think is going to happen. And most of that is going to be driven by new people coming into the private jet space. So if you are watching this video and you're thinking about flying private and you're debating, shall I fly private or not, this is something that certainly you have to look into because there are many, many benefits, not just the touch points, but there are many other benefits. And I encourage you to have a whiz around here on Biz Jet TV and have a look at the other videos. The purpose here is to educate you on the effectiveness of having this business tool, which is the private jet. I often talk about balance sheets and that, and innovation, and how the private jet is an innovation tool for your business. It's very powerful. It gets you in and out quicker, access to more airports. You run the schedule, and you know those are really the benefits. So I encourage you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. And if you want to have a chat with me, a one-to-one chat, as I always say, I can only give out general information here on Biz Jet TV. Before you buy a private jet, it's very important that you speak to a professional aviation consultant that can figure out what your business is all about and point you in the right direction airplane wise. It may be that it's not the right time for you to buy. Maybe you should start with leasing or chartering or fractional ownership, or maybe now is the time for you to buy and you need to figure out which is the right jet for your operation. So I do encourage you to reach out and let's have a conversation. Let's see what we can do here for you. If you haven't subscribed to Biz Jet TV, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel, and hope you enjoyed this video, and give us a like if you did. And that's all from Fabrizio Poli on Biz Jet TV, and I'll see you on the next one.